Welcome back to the show, everyone. We obviously heard the montage from before the break there where Derek Clark was up there in the Uni Bowl with myself, engulfed by the atmosphere that is colossal, or that was colossal. May I say, Danny Rowe, that is by far one of the most intense atmospheres that I've heard at the Uni Bowl in the last 4 seasons since the club, or 3 seasons since the club got back on the feet. That was Ian Everett. It was Ian Everett's dream, wasn't it, to have the crowd there in that much... I said to have the crowd there with that much passion and endeavour. But the result didn't kind of match at the end. But they did enough, didn't they, Bolton, to get through with a bit of pride to go on and get a result on Friday.
Yeah, well, obviously, if you watched the night before, no one were expecting Peterborough to beat Sheff Wednesday 4-0. And I think that kind of would have played on the minds of both teams more than anything. In terms of we don't want to have that kind of deficit going into the second leg. Obviously Bolton would have liked to use home advantage and gone to Oakwell with obviously the advantage, but you're still in the game, 1-1, everything to play for. It's going to be tough because, as I said, their fans are going to be up for it just as much as our fans are. And yeah, like I said, you could see at times there was nerves from both clubs, not going to lie. I think the fact when they scored, how quick we responded was crucial to staying in that tie.
Yeah. No, it was, absolutely.
We did have, and I think Barnsley were very much happy letting us have the ball, and we didn't really do much with it. And I think that's kind of played into their hands, as obviously the longer it went on. Obviously they then, like I said, got the goal. They were going to try and see it out, but as I said, we responded quite quickly, and it was a great ball from Randon Williams. I thought we had a very top game. And like the keeper spills it, and Dion Charles is in the right place to put it in. I think we had a few chances towards the end, a few blocks made.
I think what it was for me, Dan, it was a cagey affair. It was one of those when neither side wanted to. And Derek did ask Ian Everett and James Trafford after the game, as you're both probably aware. Did the game the night before between Peterborough and Sheffield Wednesday play a part in the way that they approached the game? And James Trafford said, no, not in my honest opinion, but I can only speak for myself. Ian Everett said, I can see where you're coming from, Derek, i.e., maybe the players didn't want the same thing to happen to them. And the Bolton players certainly didn't want Barnsley to come blow them away 4-0. And Barnsley certainly didn't want to come to the Uni Bowl and get absolutely blasted 4-0 and have to go back to Oakwell with the tail between the legs. So you can clearly understand that neither team wanted the same fate that Sheffield Wednesday suffered the night before on Saturday afternoon. However, what Bolton Wanderers did do is they dealt with that tetchiness quite well, considering the circumstances of going 1-0 down. They managed to get themselves a goal and then do what they always do from 60, 70 minutes onwards and almost gain control of the game. Still a few tetchy moments. Barnsley still pushed for another goal, probably in my honest opinion with a better side over the 90 plus minutes, Bobby. But Bolton held in there and put themselves in a really good position to go to Barnsley.
Yes, I agree with that to some extent, but you always want to win the home leg. You always want to win, especially when it's home first. And to be honest, at the end of the game, I was frustrated. As soon as he blew the full-time whistle, I put my head in my hands and kind of went, not what I wanted.
What do you think? Opportunity missed? It is an opportunity missed in one sense.
Yeah, but I'll put it this way. When I was walking into the ground, I was saying, if we draw or lose, no, it's an awful result, obviously. But at the end of 90 minutes, I say we've drawn the game, and it's probably not a bad result because we weren't great. To be fair, I was going to say they were possibly the better side, but were they, when you think about it? I don't know.
Not the better footballing side, but they were the better side at managing the game in any which way they needed to.
So a draw was the right result in the end. I walked away slightly frustrated, but over the 90 minutes, a draw was probably not a bad result.
No. And then you look at the fact that they are a side that nobody expected Bolton to beat 3-0 on January the 2nd as well. I remember Cameron asking me, who was on commentary that day, big up Cameron Pope, of course, who did actually ask me at the game on January the 2nd, just after New Year's Day, of course, for those people that I needed to tell that to, because obviously January the 2nd is the day after New Year's Day every year, Harlan, of course. But he did say to me, how big is this game? And I said, I believe these two sides will finish in the playoffs, and this is a marker for Bolton Wanderers. I think the players will look back on that game and go, yes, Mads Anderson got sent off in it, which hugely contributed to the fact that Bolton won 3-0 on Jan the 2nd. Dion Charles was at the races from minute 1. Bod Varson was fit. Lots of variables in that game that maybe aren't the same now, Bob. But Bolton have got the 3-0 to tap into at Oakwell. Regardless of atmosphere, the lads have got that resource to go back into and use to the benefit, haven't they?
Absolutely. And
I won't mind Dolaying him.
there's no doubt we'll go in and kind of totally out the game. Absolutely not. But
and we can't go in with the same mindset that we'd beaten 3-0 their place as well.
But you can tap into it during the game at various points.
Yeah, of course you can. Can't you? Go on, Bobby.
I'm going to say we need to kind of manage the game as well. Maybe not to the extent that Barnsley did at our place on Saturday, but if we are going and we are behind, no, we're not behind with the scoreline, but they're on top of us, maybe we do need someone in midfield that will need to tie the laces.
We know that Ian Evatt likes, obviously, Pep and how he plays. Do you take a leaf out of what Man City did to Real Madrid last night with how the press?
Back to 4-0,
but what about the press? Like Real Madrid could not get out in their own half, and forcing mistakes and errors. Yeah, but you need that clinicalness.
When you're away from home, it's harder because that comes with a risk, a high risk. If we do that, they can pick us off quite easily. Maybe but they're at home. So it's of course we've seen last night. It's something that can go and work away from home. It'll be harder, and it will.
Why though? Why is it harder? Just because
with the crowd behind him. That's
But if you silence them fans early on.
Yeah, I think if Bolton score early tomorrow, they're frightened.
If you silence them fans and they go quiet. And you'll be
hearing a lot of empty seats. I know there's going to be half the way end empty. There's going to be.
That's because of the state.
Yes, not because Bolton haven't sold them. Half of the stand to the right isn't being sold, as it never is.
No.
So there'll be nowhere near as much noise as there was at Bolton last week.
Let's just go back to that as well. What a! Regardless of the result at the end, the Bolton fans turned up, Bob. It was a great atmosphere.
When we scored on Saturday, I don't think I've ever heard the Uniballers loud.
Well, the lads were, I think Jim mentioned it. He's mentioned it a few times this season, and this just shows you how many times the Bolton fans have turned up. Me and Derek, I'm looking down at the ISDN box. My mic's there and Derek's mic's up. We're both at a high level, but not too loud where it's distorting, and we can't hear ourselves in our headphones.
Yeah.
And Jim's saying, Mark's did it at Wembley, didn't he? At Wembley it was loud at Wembley, weren't it?
Yeah, it was really loud.
The fans.
Even in the build-up we were speaking.
We can't hear you, boys. And we go, there's nothing we can do, Mark. It's just this microphone just will not drown out this unbelievable, colossal cauldron of noise.
Yeah. Like I said, when we scored, it went berserk when we scored.
Yeah, because it was how quick we responded.
Yeah.
It was all about how quick we responded, because the last thing we wanted Barnsley to do is feel comfortable with that 1-0, sit back, put every man behind the ball, and we obviously have struggled over years and months and under Ian Evatt to break down sometimes teams when they do that. So like you said, we're going to, you can either say home advantage, but we've got the advantage that we've actually got a better results against Barnsley at their place than we do at home anyway. So
yeah, no, I agree, and obviously you just have to look at the goal that Bolton did score against Barnsley, regardless whether it was 11 versus 10 and Mads Anderson wasn't on the pitch. That goal was crafted beautifully. You know, it was a patient, possession-based build-up with a purpose.
Yeah.
The ball went forward when it needed to. Gethin Jones was playing on the left-hand side in that game. Dempsey and Jones linked up beautifully.
Yeah.
Of course, he's injured now.
Kieran Lee as well.
Kachunga and Kieran Lee were excellent in the build-up as well. Bolton Wanderers, Bolton Wanderers you saw City, our fourth goal last night. It was possession with a purpose. The ball came inside. Then Phil Foden swiveled on it, played a reverse pass to Alvarez, who made the finish look so simple. Football is a really simple game when you relax on the ball, but not relax to an extent where you get complacent on it. Yeah. Where you go, you're going to sit there and you're going to watch us play football. We are going to force you back. We are going to make you ball watch. The old statement was, don't watch the ball, don't be a ball watcher when you're a kid. No. You've got to make Barnsley ball watch tomorrow. You've got to make them think. We can't approach you, we can't press you because you'll knock it around us for fun.
We've got the advantages, obviously, we've played in a high profile game to get to Wembley already. At Accrington, obviously different, and obviously stadium, and obviously again, like you said, intense. But Bolton have rode that pressure, and obviously it was a late show, but it doesn't make a difference. You got yourself to where you needed to be, and then obviously the final was obviously something else, and it's all right. But this is the thing, we've obviously been in that situation. This playing away from home, being one game away from Wembley, and knowing that we needed to get a result in an opposition's back garden. So this is where we use the experience and what we've learned already.
And maybe that's where it comes into kind of bonus where it is a draw. We're not 1-0 up and kind of go, how do we approach this? Do we sit back? Do we attack and try and get another? Or
Sheff Wednesday are now 3-0 up.
That's how you approach being a few goals
72
down.
minutes on the clock.
Oh, they're gonna go through.
So it looked like it was a full gone conclusion that Peterborough would be at Wembley, but may not be. And the woman who put on I think I've seen it on one of the supporters pages, the League One sports page. She put on a court strip for Sheff Wednesday fans.
Lisa,
is that what she was called? And people ridiculed her after Peterborough win 4-0. She may be having her role back on. She might actually have her role back because Sheff Wednesday are now 3 goals to good against Peterborough. That's how you use home advantage, I suppose.
Absolutely.
For both teams.
Hopefully Barnsley won't be taking any notes.
Oh no, but Ian Everett's there with obviously Michael Duff. So obviously both team managers, club managers are obviously eyeing up the opposition, whoever it may be. If Peterborough somehow manage to survive and go 4-3, they've just lost 3-0 in the second leg of a semi-final. Yeah. Which, again, confidence knock getting into.
If Sheffield Wednesday go through, that means they've probably won the game by 5 goals. Going into Wembley, that is not something you're going to face.
But have you given your all in that game to get there?
Possibly.
And then burn out? Because obviously it's the end of the season, players are tiring, they played a lot more games. So obviously there's a lot of different factors. Obviously Bolton have got to get there first. Obviously we've got to get our job done.
Maybe want this game to go to extra time and then one of the teams to win it in extra time. Or penalties to take it as far as possible. run as much as possible, lads.
Yeah, this obviously there's obviously quite a long time to go in that game, and obviously Sheff Wednesday now on the front foot. I still feel if Peterborough get 1 goal back in this game, they've done it. But the pressure's on Peterborough now. Peterborough crumbling.
I didn't think that Peterborough would concede as many goals as they have. You know,
Would anyone see this coming?
No, but the other thing as well, Dan, is if Bolton do, listen, I'll put my neck on the line here. If Bolton do play Sheffield Wednesday, so what? So what if it's Sheffield Wednesday in the final? You beat Plymouth. You beat the team that won the league at Wembley 4-0. Blasted them. Absolutely leathered them at Wembley.
Then from that, Plymouth went on and won all the games, which got them champions.
Sheffield Wednesday, right, are a side that Bolton Wanderers in parts took to pieces at Hillsborough that night, Bobby. Well, you weren't that confident. I'm not putting you on the...
Oh, no. I weren't. Absolutely, I weren't.
But genuinely, Bolton Wanderers put it on them that night and caused them to unravel to this point.
Yeah.
If you could actually say that Bolton were responsible for the crumbling towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and that's kind of the viewpoint I'm looking at this Barnsley game. I walked into that Sheffield Wednesday game going, we're going to lose. To be honest, I walked in going, I think we'll lose tonight. Sheffield Wednesday, 23 games unbeaten. Yeah. We're going through a bad run of form. This doesn't look promising.
It was one of our best performances this season.
Yeah, and it was. We turned up at the time, top of the league, best team in the league, and we were the better side. Same against Plymouth. So you go in, why can't we do it at Barnsley? They finished 4th in the league. We beat top of the league. We'll batter top of the league.
We've beaten Barnsley already this season, so there's a lot of favours in Bolton. Experience that you can, like you say, tap into from games you've already played. Yes, it's going to be tough. Obviously, everyone in the studio is hoping for the right outcome.
Absolutely, absolutely. It goes without saying. I think Bolton will win the game tomorrow night. I think Bolton will win it 2-1, maybe even 3-1. You never know.
Coverage on 96.5 Bolton FM.
Yes,
again.
of course. Yeah.
Harlan, you and Derek are up there
for the second time. I've never commentated at Oakwell with Derek either. It was with Cameron last time, so looking forward to that. We did Aki together, which was intense.
It's going to be different.
I was sat with the Aki fans that night as well, but at Barnsley it's a very old, traditional stand, beautiful commentary position. And it's listen, forget all this rivalry stuff for now. It's a lovely stadium. Do you know what, Bobby? Let's embrace the fact that Bolton and Barnsley, 2 good clubs from good towns, good old-fashioned English towns, are facing off in a playoff semi-final to get to the sacred land of Wembley and potentially play one of Peterborough or Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. 2 clubs that fully deserve, based on how the season's gone, to be in the position that they're in now, facing off against one another. I wish it was Barnsley at Wembley, because it would have made for an unbelievable final between 2 clubs that have been side by side for a long part of the season, for a huge part of the season. But what a semi-final second leg it's going to be. What a semi-final second leg.
Well, we're getting a very good semi-final second leg tonight in League One. I said Sheffield Wednesday currently 3-0 up, 15 minutes left in that one, plus any additional time. Obviously, the momentum is solely with Sheff Wednesday. Peterborough just after
Yeah.
Ride this
That
game
is
out.
well and truly backs against the wall time.
Well, if ever there's a team to go backs against the walls, it's a Darren Ferguson Peterborough side that clearly have got players that can they just have to dig in.
They have got players. They have got players that can score Johnson, Clark, Harris at any one given moment.
On the
can
break,
get on.
as Wednesday are pushing for an equaliser in the 90th.
Absolutely.
Clark Harris wins it on the counter. There you go, bosh, through the lines, off your pot, win it.
Likewise, like you said, Peterborough don't want you, as a team. You don't want to be having to defend constantly. You want the ball. You don't want that relentless wave after wave.
No.
Saw it last night with City Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Real Madrid kept giving the ball back, and it was wave after wave after wave. Obviously, some great saves in there by Courtois. Don't get me wrong. Them Harlan headers.
That one with fingertips from Courtois is one of the best saves I've ever seen on television.
The relentless pressure kept going, and then Bernardo scored. Bobby.
Sheffield Wednesday have just missed an absolute sitter. Absolute sitter.
Could that be the chance that stops them
Maybe.
getting?
But there is still 15 minutes to go.
Yeah,
so.
But like you said, what I was saying there about City, just constant pressure after pressure after pressure, and then Bernardo scores, and then he scores again, and then that's it. Then Real Madrid out the tie, get a goal.
Yeah.
I did speak to Bolton Wanderers fan Liam Ritchie on the fan pops before the game the other day. Fan pops will be going on YouTube as well from the game. Before tomorrow's game, so you can listen to what fans said before the game last Saturday at the Unibowl, because I also looked forward to the game at Oakwell, so you'll get a bit of a pre-match preview from the first leg, which I didn't put on after the game, and almost a pre-match preview of the second leg before the first leg, if that makes sense to you. So really juicy amount of fan pops here from 6 wonderful contributors. Liam Ritchie, I asked him a very important question as well about Marcus, the videographer at Bolton Wanderers, who I think goes very underappreciated at times for the work he does behind the scenes, the work he does on Matchday Live,
running up and
down the touchline, and also the stuff that he works on with the club via social media, and the amount that the club have done on social media since Sharon Britton took over the club. Here's a message from Liam Ritchie based on what he thinks of the social media side of Bolton Wanderers. Do the fans care about it, and the fact that they do care about it, and of course what he thinks about the club on the media side of things going forward too.
So, I just want you mentioned something then, pal, and I think it means a lot to Wanderers fans. It's underappreciated, I think, and the more social media grows, the more fans appreciate it. What does Marcus's work inside Matchday, all the tunnel cam and the manager cam and all the extra stuff that goes on social media mean to fans before, during and after games? The stuff on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, does it mean something to you like that nowadays?
Yeah, I think looking back how far social media has come in the last 10 years, it's just so different, and I think having the behind the scenes stuff really shows the togetherness of the team, and I think really it shows the bond that the players have between, not with each other but with Everett, the rest of the dressing room, with Marcus, like with Trafford and Bradley at the end of the final, when he ran over to the crowd, got the little video on TikTok when he got him with trophy lifting it up. I think stuff like that.
You've never seen that before, would you?
No, definitely not. I think having that, it makes everyone feel so proud to be a Wanderers fan.
You're on your way back from Wembley, aren't you, watching it all, and you feel like you're still in the ground living it all again.
Exactly.
I think that's the magic of it all. Well, he's a great lad, Marcus, I can say that. I've spoken to him, I know him quite well. Great lad, he loves doing his job, he loves working for you, he works for the fans, he works for the club, but he works on behalf of the fans. He's a Bolton fan himself, loves doing it for you all, and you appreciating his work will mean the world to him, mate, so thanks very much for that.
Oh, it's not a problem, honestly. We love everything that he's done for the club this season. Him sprinting to the players when they're in the corner flag, celebrating a last minute equaliser. When
he dropped the camera.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's just great. Just watching it from up here in the upper tier, it's unreal to see him just sprinting, and it's so funny. No, we love him. Yeah, we do.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, buddy. Great interview that, and make sure you listen back to it. Make sure you get all these to listen back to it as well, and play it. Put it on a loop if you want. Make it your ringtone.
I might do. Cheers, pal.
There you go then, Bolton Wanderers fan Liam Ritchie. The full fan pop that I did with Liam, of course, is going to be on YouTube from around 10 o'clock in the morning, so make sure you watch the fan pops from before the Barnsley game at home. Really great lad, you can tell he's Bolton just by listening to accent on him. He's fantastic, dead genuine. What do you think of Marcus's work, Bolton fans? How much do you appreciate Marcus? I personally think his work's outstanding. Just a little message for Marcus and the team behind the scenes on social media and the other side of the football club, Bobby and Dan. Excellent work that keeps the fans really integrated and involved in the club's movements on and off the field.
Oh, absolutely. And after a game, maybe a big win such as Wembley or Sunderland or something like that, going and watching the inside match days, it's brilliant. You kind of relive the game, watching the goals go in, pitch side, and then he turns the camera on and you see all the Wanderers fans. Yeah, goal cams, everything, the fan cams as well. You can relive it at home, whereas it's not quite the same when you're watching highlights from
your own eyes,
5,000 feet in the air or whatever.
Does it mean something to you?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it gets you close to the club. It gives you an insight what's going on day in, day out. Like you said, the dressing room, the jokes that they have, but also, like you said, the bond that they have with him. Obviously, you look at the Papa John's Trophy final. James Trafford took the camera off him and gave him the trophy, swapped roles, so to speak. But yeah, no, like you said, you kind of need that in the club. Some of the things that they put on TikTok are quite hilarious as well, mocking teams that you played or mocking our own players as a laugh, a bit of banter. But that's what it's all about, innit?
Yeah, keeping the fans connected with the club. I think it's something new that social media's grown. So many bad things happen on social media, of course. So much trolling, so much nasty stuff can happen on there. But the good side of it is this kind of stuff, Bob, making sure that football fans see stuff that they wouldn't ordinarily see as football clubs at the top level move away from their fans. The EFL clubs seem to be trying to do more for the fans than the Premier League clubs.
Absolutely. And what did we do in the fan club of the year or something like that?
Fan engagement.
I think
fan engagement.
Neil Hart's just won the CEO as well.
And we've been made fan excellence again, 2 years on the bounce. I think that's right. But we did actually win the fan club of the year, I think, didn't we? Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Listen, massive.
Bobby, Dan, it's a club moving in the right direction, and it all comes from the lady at the top. And the consortium, Football Ventures, Ian Everett, Chris Markham, Marcus, of course, the performance analysis team, everybody involved at Wanderers, and of course them players that are going to be turning out at Oakwell tomorrow night to put smiles on Bolton's faces, and they'll be walking